From the stories you want to the answers you need, this Answer the part of the Sports Nuts Network. So we would like to say a huge thank you and welcome to our international community as well. We have a great show lined up today with a very special guest joining. We're going to talk Razorback sports, Lakers, and more. So sit back, relax, and enjoy Answer the. How did you become a fan of the Lakers? I have to assume it was because of Kobe Bryant, or was it something else or someone else?
Kobe was the ultimate deciding factor. Arkansas doesn't have a professional team, so you kind of get to pick and choose who you root for. And I was a sports fan from an early age. So even though I was born in the early '90s, really that three-peat from 2000 to 2002, and with the Lakers is when I really started becoming a huge fan of them with Kobe and Shaq, that duo. I loved them. Obviously, having Derek Fisher be from Arkansas and play such a huge role in those teams was really cool to me as well. But like you said, it ultimately boils down to Kobe. I've been a Kobe fan since I can remember. He's my favorite player of all time. Just the Mamba mentality that he has, the work ethic to outwork every single person, regardless of talent, was always just inspirational to me. And the way that his life ended was obviously tragic. That's the only celebrity death that's ever happened and probably ever will happen that honestly made me cry. So it impacted me deeply. It happened about a month before we had our first child, who was going to be a girl. And then I know there were a lot of stories out there about Kobe being a devoted girl dad. So it just really hit me hard. And so it feels weird to not have him around at Laker games, giving insight to the team to this day. But yeah, that's how I became a Lakers fan, kind of in the late '90s, early 2000s.
I had to assume. I mean, because I had to assume that like me and you are kind of similar in age. I'm closer to 40 than I am 30, and so I just kind of like, people from that era. If you're a Lakers fan, you're a Lakers fan because of Kobe, and if you are a newer generation, you're a Lakers fan probably because of LeBron. Okay, so sorry, I lost my notes here. Okay, Luka had a great month of March,
He did.
putting up numbers we haven't seen for a while. Where would you rank his play versus others, like in 1 month or in the month of March? Like, how great is Luka in that aspect?
Yeah, his March was phenomenal. I mean, I still can't believe that Nico Harrison made that trade. I don't know what he was thinking on that. In the month of March alone, I mean, you look, he averaged 37 points, 8 rebounds, 7.5 assists. He scored over 600 points in the month, which is more points than Anthony Davis scored in his entire tenure as a Dallas Maverick. That's a pretty major stat there that hurts their trade value there. He was obviously Western Conference Player of the Month. The Lakers went 15-2 as a team. To me, I mean, that's best in the world type stuff. I mean, I know that there's arguments back and forth on the MVP. He's not going to win it. I think that he's actually ineligible based on number of games played because of some injuries, and then he missed a couple because of the birth of his daughter. But people just suddenly want to be obsessed with defense in the MVP race, even though we've had people like Steve Nash and James Harden, Steph Curry, even Jokic win the MVP, and those guys aren't known for their defense. I think that he gets a bad rap. I mean, obviously, I'm a huge Lakers fan. I watch every single game. He's better on defense than he gets credit for. I mean, he's got size. He gets in the passing lanes and gets a number of steals. He tries hard on defense. So I just don't think that's a good argument to not give him. I think he's the MVP because you take him away. You've seen what happened to the Lakers when you take him away. We'll continue to see that the rest of the season. So I think he deserves it. He's not going to win it. I think it'll probably go to SGA because he's the best player on the best team. But the last month was phenomenal, generational type stuff.
Unfortunately, though, he did get injured. And, it's kind of like now it's going to be like one of those what if situations, so unfortunately, after the impressive March, he did get injured and will miss the rest of the season. And his availability for the playoffs are in doubt. If Luka can't play in the playoffs, how far do the Lakers make it?
The sports gods giveth, and they taketh away. Like you said, it is unfortunate. It's kind of a weird feeling to feel like that euphoric feeling of going 15-2 in 1 month, racing up to the 3 seed, feeling like maybe this team really has a chance to contend, and then in one night you lose Luka to a grade 2 hamstring strain, and Austin Reeves, who's having a career year, to an oblique injury. I know Luka's supposed to be out around 4 to 6 weeks. which with the playoffs coming up, that would put him out at least to the end of the first round and maybe the beginning of the second, best case scenario. I know he went to Spain, so he's in Spain right now getting some advanced like injection treatment, hoping to kind of expedite the healing process. So fingers crossed that works, and maybe he's able to come back quicker than people are expecting. But your question, if he's out, they're toast. Tim, I mean, I got to be honest with you. I would be very surprised if they don't have Luka if they win a single game. It's looking like they're supposed to be around the 4 or 5 seed and will probably play the Houston Rockets in the first round, a team who I think is fraudulent. And if at full strength, I think the Lakers would have beaten them. But without Luka and without Austin, I saw this is the first time ever that a team is entering the playoffs with 2 21-plus points per game scorers out. It's just too much to overcome. I mean, trying to be reliant on a 41-year-old LeBron James and basically a South Bay Lakers roster, that's just not a recipe for success, especially in the playoffs. They're getting blown out here to end the season. I think it's going to be more of the same. If he doesn't come out, they really don't have a chance to do anything.
All right, so it does look like they are going to face the Rockets. I did kind of look at the standings, and I forgot who clinched the 7th seed. So it does look like the Lakers and the Rockets are destined for the playoffs against each other. No Luka, no playoff wins, it seems like. So, all right, I have one more Laker question. And we'll ask you a few rapid fire, and then we'll wrap up the show. Will this be this? So this is kind of like a two-parter. Or first, will this be the last year that we see King James? And if he does hang it up after, or do you think LeBron hangs it up after the season?
There's a lot of speculation. Obviously, LeBron is a very polarizing player. I'm going to be honest, it's been kind of a weird experience for me because I was the world's biggest LeBron hater for multiple years. Every game was appointment television for me to hate watch him, and it was really a media-driven narrative. The way they talked about him really made me dislike him. But once he came to the Lakers, obviously I got to get rid of that thought process, and I root for his success. I don't think so. I don't think this is his last year. And I think that for a couple of reasons. One, respectfully, I think his ego is a little bit too big to go out quietly. Now, this is the guy who brought us the decision when he decided to go to Miami. He's going to want some sort of farewell tour where he gets the acknowledgement that he feels like he deserves, and he's ultimately earned. So I don't think he's going to just end it the way that this season's going to end. And then two, he really just has too much left in the tank, in my opinion. Like we talked about before. I mean, he's a productive player. I know he's 41 years old, but he's averaging 21, 6, and 7. I mean, that's a career season for more than half of the NBA. And so maybe he's not an MVP. He's not a number one option anymore necessarily, but he's still a highly productive player. So I think he's got too much left to give it up now. He's going to have a decision to make this offseason. Most of the teams that have cap space are not very good. They're tanking teams. He's going to want to compete for a championship. Ultimately, I think he stays in LA. They can offer him the most money for the most part. His family loves it in LA. Bronny's on the team. I think it just makes too much sense. So it wouldn't shock me if he went maybe to Cleveland or elsewhere, but I don't think he's going to retire, and I think ultimately he's going to still be a Laker.
Okay. Yeah, I can't see him. And let's say Luka doesn't come back, okay? And they're one and done in the playoffs. Well, hypothetical, they get swept by the Rockets. I don't see that happening, but maybe it does. Excuse me. I don't see LeBron wanting to end his career on a one and done. I see him wanting to go out in the biggest moment, the biggest stage, like you said. And I see him like, hey, like, I mean, every player wants to, and I get that. But, like, nobody wants to end their career on what if Luka was healthy? What if Austin Reeves didn't get hurt? And I think when you're a competitor like LeBron, you just, you have that mentality, like you have that dog in you, so to speak. And I think that, when you have that, you're ultimately competitive, and you can't end your career no matter what's going on. You can't end on that kind of note. So I do like you said, if they go one and done, he's out. If they make it to the conference finals, maybe. But if they're one and done, I definitely see LeBron coming back, trying to get another championship. What a show that was. However you may have watched, however you may have listened, thank you for making this show part of your day. Big shout out to Tyler for joining us today and giving us some insider on Hogs, Lakers, and a little bit on the NBA. If you've enjoyed the episode, make sure to like, subscribe, and tap the bell to answer the call. If you're listening on Spotify, leave a rating and share it with someone who loves the game as much as you do. It helps the channel tremendously. You can find me on Facebook and all other social media platforms for short clips and different posts to engage in. Guys, on Friday, we have the call log where you submit your questions and I'll answer them live on Monday. So be on the lookout for that, guys. I'm Tim Collins, and I'll see you the next time. And as always, talk